Answers, welcome to the Fall 2020 School Culture Presentation. I'm Assistant Principal Cullen Haskins.
Hey, along with Assistant Principal Matt Thompson at your service here.
And we want you to know you belong
here, right here.
Absolutely right. Here are a few things we're going to cover today. We're going to talk a little about mental health and suicide prevention. We'll talk about our restorative justice work, what to do if you have concerns about COVID-19, some really good advice on serious issues like sexual assault, and we'll cover mental health and suicide prevention once again.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, mental health and suicide prevention, please always know if you're feeling pain. This time that we live in right now, it is just a time of uncertainty, as we know. Please reach out to any adult at La Follette High School. We are here to support you. We want you safe.
That's exactly right. Here are some ways we're going to keep you connected during virtual learning.
I got to tell you one thing, Principal Haskins, I'm really excited about this idea of a virtual mentor.
You're excited. You should know that every one of you watching this right now has a virtual mentor. And if that virtual mentor hasn't reached out to you, boy, they're in trouble, aren't they, Matt?
That is true. You'll be hearing from all of your virtual mentors soon. And that is because we have every adult connected to a small group of students. We are here to support you. We want to help you. We want to check in with you, and we want to know how you're doing. So if you have not received a call from your virtual mentor, everybody's been busy. You will soon.
That's right. Exactly right. You will. I'm going to talk for just a minute, Matt, about, you can go ahead with the slide. I want to talk about restorative justice. Many of you might know that the Time Bank, one of the local nonprofit organizations, works with La Follette on restorative justice. Alexis Gardner, many of you may know her.
Awesome.
She comes over and works with us. Many of you know
Alexis.
Crazy Molly Hayes. Molly Hayes. She also works in restorative justice. We're going to keep that rocking during virtual. And hopefully we'll see you in the building sometime this year, and that restorative justice is going to continue. We just want that on your radar.
Yep, and it's important to note too, Principal Haskins, that we are committed and we want to get restorative justice back and rebooted here.
Absolutely. Matt, do you ever have concerns about this thing called COVID-19? Does it ever concern you? Does it keep you up at night?
Absolutely, man. I'm worried about it. I wonder about it. I'd like more information about it. I wonder where we could go.
Stop right there. There's some good news. If you have concerns as a student, there's a place you can go. Do you all know that we have a school nurse? Because that school nurse can definitely help you with some of the things you see on the screen. If you're not calm,
correct.
If you're worried,
yep.
If you don't understand distancing, you can see this distance right here, right?
Got it.
We're going to keep that distance.
We're safe.
If you're worried about hanging out with friends, if a family member, you're worried about them, right? If you have something else like cold or the flu, and you might think you have COVID, well, the good news is you can reach out to our school nurse. Her name is Margaret Corbet. You'll have a copy of this slide deck. You can see her email and her phone number and her Google Voice number on the screen. We want to be a place at La Follette that it's just not about books and academics. This is about COVID-19. This is about suicide prevention. This is about all of those things that can keep you supported through what is a really, really tough and weird time.
That's right. Again, we want you safe and connected, and this is all about the total you.
Absolutely. We're going to just go over quickly two super important issues. If you don't learn anything at La Follette this year, but you know our mental health support and you understand sexual assault and consent, then we have done a pretty darn good job. And so we're going to dive into these two serious issues now for just a moment.
Copy that, Colin. Let's talk about mental health support and suicide prevention during virtual learning.
Yeah, I think it's time to talk about that. One thing we want you to know, if you're struggling, if you have a friend who's struggling, we're going to say the same sentence every time. Reach out to an adult at La Follette High School, and we have a system where we're going to follow up and we're going to get you help.
Yep, exactly. But we need to hear from you, and you have to know, and we want you to know that you're safe and your information is safe with any adult at the school.
We can't help you if we don't know. And the other thing just that you've seen up on your screen is processing space. More to come on processing space. Processing space are going to be some of our student services people, some counselors, some social workers, psychologists, who are going to have groups for students to process through not only the mental health stuff, but the second civil rights movement that we're all going through, COVID-19 that we're all going through. If you want to get in a group and talk about it with other kids, look for that processing space email that's going to be coming out to you soon.
And the last thing I want to say about the processing space is the importance of student voice. Principal LaRosa, during our virtual Welcome Back week, has a drop in Zoom regarding reimagining high schools, right? We want to hear from you. You make this place better. Your voice matters.
I want to talk a little bit more about mental health. It's a topic that's really, really important to me and important to this whole admin team. So just if you've been tuning out, if you're on your InstaFace page, if you pulled up your FaceGram account and you're just totally distracted, tune in right now. If you've got a friend or yourself is sad or feeling depressed most of the time, if you're anxious, if you're worried, if you're stressed, if you're more overwhelmed than normal, we're all going to be a little overwhelmed this first week of school, right, man?
Right, exactly. If you feel like you're hurting, if you've been physically, emotionally, or sexually abused, if you feel numb, we want to know.
We do. If you have changes in sleep, all of a sudden you're not sleeping at night or you're sleeping way too much. If all of a sudden the things you really enjoy, right, you're no longer enjoying them. If you feel like hurting yourself, if you're having any problems with like a radio going off during a presentation, anything like that, you want to just reach out to us. So again, the message is this.
Causes stress.
If these things, radios do cause stress. Thank you, man. If any of these things are happening, the message is reach out to an adult at Lafayette High School and we have a system to help you out.
I just appreciate us calling it out though, Colin.
We got to say it. Mental health affects us all. Absolutely. And the other thing that I just wanted to go through, this is fine. So here are some actual numbers that you can call. The first thing that's on this slide that you're seeing right now is tell a trusted adult immediately. You all have a trusted adult.
24 hours a day.
Yep, you do. You can tell us anytime. Here are some other helplines you can call for our LGBT QIA plus youth. There's a line that you can call that's available. We also have a helpline for restorative justice from Time Bank. So these are numbers you can call or just reach out to an adult at Lafayette, man.
And we know a lot about and want to tell you that we are here for you. We've said it multiple times. Your trusted adult. You have somebody with a listening ear. It's okay if you don't even know exactly what the nature of the problem is or how to even describe it. Go ahead, give it a shot, do it. We got to hear from you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And this next slide that we're going to show you is just a slide that's going to show you the helpline from Restorative Justice and from Time Bank. So you can always call them as well. We just want you to know that you're supported. The only thing we don't want you to do is not reach out if you or if a friend is struggling.
You got to call somebody. Trusted adult here, Time Bank, Lexus Molly.
Anybody. You have people. The last thing
this is important. We got to talk about this.
Yep. We have to talk about this. And too often, I think we learned last year, you kids are ready to talk about this. You're mature. These things are happening in your lives. It's us adults that are a little less comfortable with it, man.
Right. And so we need to just open it up.
We need to open it up and we need to talk about it. So if you look at this next slide, it's basically this. Your body is yours. You have to give someone consent if they want to touch your body. You can give consent, and then if you decide it's not comfortable, you can take it back, right?
At any point.
At any point. Make sure that you know that. Make sure that your friends know that. During virtual learning, you're not physically in our building, but sexual assault can still happen, and we still want to support you through that. Again, the message is reach out.
And talk to an adult if you got questions. And I think the takeaways are, as you know, the bolded blue. Consent is permission. Consent's a boundary. You decide what's right and what you're okay with and not okay with, and those boundaries shift over time.
That's exactly right. And this slide just tells you a little bit more about boundaries. You can come back and review this slide deck. If you, a friend, or anyone you know is struggling with this or this has happened to them, please, again, reach out because there is support at Lafayette High School when this happens. It's happened to so many more people than we know, man.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why we have to know that you're supported. How do we know what consent looks like?
Yeah, it's tough, but you've got a nice acronym here. It's kind of a funny one, FRIES, right? You freely give it. As I mentioned before, it's reversible. If I give someone consent and all of a sudden it doesn't feel good, I can take it back and say, no more. I'd like you to stop, right? It's informed. And it's enthusiastic, it's specific. You can look at those 5 and just kind of think about that a little bit. But no, adults here want to help you with this.
Have a great virtual start.
Oh man, it's been
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. We've done 8 days of virtual learning. Your teachers are ready. You're going to have such a much more positive experience with virtual learning than you did in the spring. We guarantee it. Your teachers are ready. And of course, we all hold out hope that November 3rd, right? We are back. We are back in some capacity with you all. We miss you. We appreciate you. You have a home here. You belong
at La Follette High School. Let's do this, everyone.
right here.
L's up.